watching the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
All the great pageantry here in College Station. Number 25 A&M, number 9 Mizzou. Stormy Antonio's in for Katie Georges with Stormy.
Well, after 3 straight weeks for Texas A&M of quarterback Connor Wigman being on the shelf, head coach Mike Elko was all smiles in pregame when he told us 15 is back in today. He said throughout the week, this was the first time that he was able to get a full week of practice under his belt since suffering that shoulder injury. He made steady progress. And having watched him in pregame warmups, he looked comfortable. He wasn't favoring that shoulder, and he had the zip on the ball that Coach Elko was looking for. And I do think, guys, it is significant considering what Marcel Reed did for this team over the last 3 weeks. In a game of this magnitude, they feel Wigman, even compromise, gives them the best chance. Yeah, Reed had 3 touchdowns last week against Arkansas, Stormy, but Connor Wigman came into the year thought of as one of the very best quarterbacks in the SEC. Look at this scene here at Kyle Field. A&M won the toss. They elected to defer. As we are underway to start this day of SEC on ABC. Brady Cook, Jordan, his 5th year, a 3-year team captain.
Yeah, I think one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the entire country over the last 2 years. He's 15-2 as a starter since the start of last season. He's dynamic with his legs, but he is a polished passer. And I'm looking for him today to not force those downfield throws. Take what this A&M defense gives you early, get the ball into your hand, because that defense in front is dangerous.
A couple weeks ago against Vandy, had a season-low 226 yards passing, was sacked 3 times. See what kind of early rhythm he can get going here. Downfield and gets it complete to Luther Burden III.
And we're going to be talking about Luther Burden a ton today. One of the best receivers in the entire country. Get him man-to-man with Des Ricks, the Alabama transfer, and a great ball on the back shoulder there by Brady Cook. And that's the first explosive play we've seen from this Tigers offense in a long, long time.
27 yards to LB3. Here's Nate Noel trying to get around the edge as he nearly turned the corner but couldn't get past Will Lee III.
Yeah, I mentioned this dynamic defensive front from Texas A&M. They are really good. It starts with Nick Scorton and Shamar Turner, number 11, number 5. They're going to move them all over the place, and you just saw the dynamic duo, Luther Burden and Nate Noel, getting 2 touches on the first 2 plays.
4 yards from Noel, 2nd and 6. They go with the jet motion, and here is Burden as he is tracked down the line. Great pursuit by Jaden Hill.
This is going to be a story of the afternoon, just watching Missouri move Luther Burden around to find him one-on-one opportunities. They love to do it, especially on 3rd downs, and on 3rd down and 5 here. A&M defense is going to be keying on exactly where number 3 is, and actually they took him out of the game here after that play, so no Luther Burden on this pivotal first 3rd down.
So big Nick Scorton, number 11. He's got 3 sacks on the season. And Brady Cook struggles to get ahead, just makes it to the 40-yard line on what was 3rd and 5, a 3-yard gain. Scooby Williams making the tackle.
Yeah, it's actually a really good play call. I love it, just trying to get Brady Cook right here in the A-gap. But watch the A-gap defender. Working right on Cameron Johnson, number 74, stones him right there. Nowhere to go for Brady Cook. And here on 4th down.
And right away, it's going to be a timeout called. It's a 4th down and 2 with the ball cresting on the 40-yard line. So right away, a 4th down, and a timeout is called by Eli Drinkwitz. I mentioned Burden is such a dynamic player. Every which way, you just want to get him the ball, Jordan.
And he's so dynamic and dangerous because they put him everywhere. Look at him lined up in the backfield right here. Watch all the confusion from Boston College. Where is he? Who's guarding him? In the end, nobody's on him. And you get Luther Burden with the ball in space. He's dynamic. Now motioning him, not just where you align him, but motioning him to create leverage and space one-on-one. That was in overtime against Vanderbilt. And then also, you got to worry because where he goes, everybody's eyes go as well. And sometimes they don't move him to get him the ball. They move him to create openings for other players here. A wheel route to the running back, big play. And on 4th down, let's see what Missouri does.
4th down and 2. Play action. On 4th down Mizzou.
Boy, and Eli rolling the dice early, 4th and 2 with a play-action shot.
After further discussion, there is no foul for defensive.
Whoa! And that's a massive call. Will Lee, they call him the blanket because he's usually all over receivers. Initially drew the flag there for holding on Theo Weiss right here around the hip. A lot of contact, but you can see that hand on the back wasn't grabbing jersey.
Let's bring in Bill Lamonier, our rules expert. Billy, how do you see this one?
Well, I think when they see the film later, they're going to wish they stayed with those flags. He was not playing the ball, ran right into him. I have defensive pass interference.
Wow, so what a turn for A&M.
Yeah, so initially I think everyone's eyes went to the holding, right? Disrupting the route, but really the end, I agree with Bill there on the end. He's got to get his head around, otherwise that should have been a flag.
Connor Wigman back to being the starting quarterback. He was dealing with that injured shoulder, but now he's back in the lineup as he gives to Le'Veon Moss.
And Wigman is just so talented, and he's exactly what this A&M offense needs. They've struggled to push the ball downfield, utilize the talent that they have at wide receiver. He's a pure passer, an NFL-type arm.
Moss picked up 5 yards. They quickly swing it. This is Barber, who is chopped down immediately as Dalen Carnell with the tackle.
But you do wonder with Wigman, right? He played week 1 against Notre Dame, but only 3 full games last year, so really hasn't played a ton of football in the last 2 years.
I feel like it's been a disjointed path for him, Jordan.
Yes, never gotten a rhythm when it was Jimbo Fisher last year with the injury, and now a new system under Colin Klein.
Facing a 3rd down and 8. Here's Wigman, 4-man rush. Downfield on 3rd down, and that ball drops harmlessly to the ground. Noah Thomas had a shot on it. The flag does come in at the 28-yard line.
They're not going to pick this one up either. That was clear as day holding on Noah Thomas.
I mean, he's armbar locking.
Yeah.
That was Dre Norwood, who's playing against his old team.
2 fouls on the play. Holding. Offense. Number 71. Pass interference. Defense. Number 12. Those penalties offset. Replay. 3rd down.
The left guard, Chase Basantis. So the offsetting penalties.
But what you noticed right away was the ball placement. I mean, that ball was on the money. Couldn't have handed it downfield any better to Noah Thomas. Just unfortunate with the offsetting penalties there on what would have been or should have been an explosive play for A&M.
So we reset it to 3rd down and 8. This after the turnover on downs of what Bill Lamonier, our rules expert, said should have been a pass interference and a 1st down Mizzou. Wigman. As he gets it complete on the crossing route to Jabri Barber. 1st down Aggies.
And there is some physicality in the secondary on both sides. You're going to see Pride is all over the route here, but the accuracy once again, I mean, that ball is so well thrown, and already you're seeing the benefit of having an accurate NFL-type caliber passer under center for the Aggies.
13-yard completion on 3rd down as Barber was able to haul it in. Wigman, play action, gets it out quickly again, and Noah Thomas will take it ahead as he gets inside the 30-yard line. It's another 1st down for Texas A&M.
Boy, and this offense under Marcel Reed was much more run-oriented. It feels a little different right now under Connor Wigman. The playbook has opened up for new offensive coordinator Colin Klein.
As the OC at K-State was a Heisman finalist when he was a great player, and now one of the great young minds in college football. There is Colin Klein, the play caller for the Aggies. Keep it on the ground with Moss, as Moss will get extra leg drive and get it to the 26-yard line. Mike Elko, his 1st season at A&M, 3 years a head coach. Remember, Jimbo Fisher was bought out for $76 million last November.
Well, I got a chance to work out in the facility here at A&M. They're doing okay.
Yes, they are.
In the money category, so they wrote that check, and I think they got the right man leading the program right now with Mike Elko.
Pockets are very, very big and plentiful here down in College Station. Wigman. A lot of traffic that time as Walker was trying to come on the slant.
And Tristan Newsom there from Missouri getting around Wigman. Caused that incompletion. This offensive line for A&M's kind of been a work in progress. They were really bad last year. Really bad in every category from sack percentage to quarterback percentage, or pressure percentage, excuse me. So here on a third down, Missouri stacked in the line of scrimmage. Let's see if this O-line can hold up.
Third and 6. They keep it on the ground with Daniels, and look at this! Amari Daniels! How about these Aggies? What a start! He made that last surge. His knee was close to touching the turf. We may need to look at this, but a great run by Daniels. Watch the knee here, Jordan. You tell me.
Let's get a close look at it here. Yeah, I think that knee's going to be down about the 1 yard line, a little bit inside that. A&M on the ball quick, though.
Quick to it. Straight ahead, and this time in. Amari Daniels cleans it up. Touchdown, Texas A&M.
Smart play there by Colin Klein, his veteran quarterback, of getting the ball on the ball quick. I mean, they got TV monitors up in the booth. They probably knew Amari Daniels came up a little short, but you get on the ball, you snap it before the replay has a chance to kick in and take a second look at it.
Well, welcome back, Connor Wigman. Sat out the last 3 games after he hurt his shoulder against Notre Dame. And then this week, he was able to practice all week long. Marcel Reed, obviously, had gotten this team some winning momentum. But Connor Wigman, the veteran, so talented. He brings this offense a maturity, a dimension that you saw right there in managing an 8-play drive that went for 60 yards and was capped with a big Amari Daniels run down to the 1 and capped in with the short touchdown run by Daniels quick to the line as Randy Bond looks to cap it with the extra point. But remember how it began. 4th down. Bill Lamagnier, our rules expert, said this should have stayed pass interference. They picked up the flag, so instead, A&M gets the ball, and Daniels, with a great hole on the right side of that line, brings it down into prime position, and it is number 25. And
offseason as well, and Elko mentioned, man, we passed on him. I did, had the chance, but he's sure lucky to have him now.
Here's Nate Noel as he works his way to the 28-yard line for Mizzou.
And another thing about Nick Scorton, we asked him coming off of leading the Big Ten in sacks, do you feel like you needed something to prove coming to the SEC? And he said, absolutely. That's the whole point. Wanted to come to the SEC, prove myself, prove I could play at this level to take the next step in my career.
And Stormy, when we were talking to Eli Drinkwitz the other day, he said he may be the best defensive lineman in the entire SEC. Here's Cook downfield, incomplete, was looking for Reese. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Well, it's the second time they've tested Des Ricks on the outside in one-on-one coverage. First time had a big completion to Luther Burden, that time just off the mark to Theo Weiss. And now an important 3rd down, and Nick Scorton, number 11. This is where A&M loves to create one-on-one pass rush matchups for him. Let's see how they stack this defensive front.
He's one of those guys that is so muscular, he looks like he's not even wearing shoulder pads. It looks like it's just his natural build. This is where he's at its best. 3rd down and 6. Let's see if Scorton can get to Brady Cook. Cook steps up in the pocket and is chased down and taken down. It was Damian Sanford who got to him.
Well, I think it's no secret Missouri thinks he's a really good player as well. You're going to see them double. They're going to bring the running back, Jamal Roberts, right there to help chip on Scorton. And great coverage downfield, really a coverage sack there. DeShields bringing Brady Cook down.
Luke Bauer, 6'5" puncher to punch away to one of the most dynamic playmakers as a true freshman in Terry Bussey. A bit of pressure on Bauer, but a really good sky drive kick outside the numbers to the 22. And the coverage downfield straight on Terry Bussey. A&M back to business on offense when we return to magnificent Kyle Field. It's the SEC on ABC.
The SEC on ABC. Saturdays at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. This is how it's done.
Defeated Arkansas 67 years ago today. Missouri and Texas A&M for the first time. And now here we are with the number 9 team in the country, trailing the number 25 team in the country. Connor Wigman got the start at quarterback today as he is back healthy after he had the shoulder injury. Wigman going to get it to Mellon Orstrom, the big tight end who kept his footing for a moment and out past the 30.
I think balance is one thing this A&M team has been trying to achieve since Connor Wigman went down. They've been running the football really, really well, but the pass game has struggled. It just feels different today. It feels like this playbook is wide open with Connor Wigman under center.
2nd and 6 as Moss with a great push ahead. Everybody was finding work, including Coley Fayoum, the center. There's Marcel Reed, who had been the starting quarterback in recent weeks. They've thrown multiple touchdowns in 3 straight games. The backup becomes the backup again per game.
Yeah, they've been elite, but this will be the
down A&M. Quick to the outside to Thomas, and Noah Thomas. Look at what he can do. Spin move and more. Noah Thomas, chunk play, Aggies.
Corner was late getting over there. You see, got his eyes caught on the backfield. Noah Thomas does a great job of breaking a tackle, spin move, getting down.
On the season. That is well struck. Great rotation, a down-the-line kick.
And they love his ability in the slot.
He's got huge upside. Had a great career at Troy. Wigman, Moss straight ahead. And these Aggies are going downhill now.
They're the best offense they've faced, and this offensive line is really moving people for A&M.
1st and goal. Straight ahead and driving into the end zone again is Amari Daniels, his 2nd of the day.
Against that Arkansas team with Bobby Petrino and a dynamic quarterback in Taylon Green. We'll see how real they are. I believe they are, but a dang good Arkansas offense.
You brought it up, the SEC standings. The Aggies are already 2-0 in the SEC, and now with this 17-point lead.
Yeah, we mentioned the schedule they have ahead of them, very favorable. And, man, they just look like a different team. This is not the same team we saw week 1 against Notre Dame. It's a team that continues to get better now with their quarterback back. A completely different element on offense.
2nd and 7. Wigman. Wigman's going to run ahead and get the first down. And again, he chooses not to slide. Remember, he's been out for 3 weeks with the injured shoulder.
Yeah, those are ones that, hey, you know, you feel pretty good in that first quarter. You probably got a shot in that shoulder. It's feeling pretty loose and goosey, you know, but you want to start to slide here because 2nd, 3rd quarter, it starts to ache a little bit. That pain maybe starts to come back, so I'd urge him to get down as much as possible.
11-yard rush, 1st down. Wigman again. Look at the time he has to find an option, and that ball was nearly picked off. He was trying to get it to Terry Bussey, but Toriano Pride Jr. nearly had an interception. And by the way, Terry Bussey plays defensive back as well.
I was going to say recruited and started at defensive back initially in his career, and that's a great PBU. A receiver doesn't get a PBU in the stat category, but he absolutely should. Connor Wigman stared that down from Jump Street and should have been an interception.
If it's any other receiver, that probably is an interception. Second and 10. Moss testing the right side. He bounces it and then gets the shoulders squared and goes ahead as a flag is down at the 26.
Yeah, it's going to be a holding on.
Holding. Offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Ruben Fothery at right tackle there. Initially in really good position, and as that run that's supposed to hit inside of him bounces to the outside, just grabbed a little bit jersey of the DN there. It's a big couple plays here for Missouri. They have to get off the field.
Yes, they do. They have to get off the field, give the ball to their offense, and find anything before halftime. As, of course, we will go to Kevin and Booger in the studio and get up to speed on all the early action across the country. 2nd and 20 after the penalty. A check down to E.J. Smith as Smith lowers the shoulder and tries to get back some of it. The son of Emmitt Smith.
You know how demoralizing it is to face a quarterback that's just going to casually go through 1, 2, 3 reads and check it down? I mean, just think of the yards he's picked up so far, just checking the football down, just making the smart decision. Showing his veteran presence in you.
3rd down and 13. Remember, they got themselves in a hole because of the penalty. Wigman. Pressure is picked up. It gives him a chance to go downfield. And with it, he gets it to Ja'Day Walker. Wrestling that ball from Dre Norwood. Ja'Day Walker comes up huge on 3rd and 13. He goes for 37 yards.
The big 6'4", 205 senior target. Bailing his quarterback out a little bit there. The ball's going to be slightly underthrown. It's a double move. Great route. That safety starts to creep into the picture here late, but a great job of coming down with that one in tight coverage from Drayden Norwood.
Unable to connect with Walker this time.
This is a really tough contested catch. He's not even really able to high point it with his arms. It kind of gets into his body. He's backpedaling. You see that gets into his chest, but he still hangs on to it. And really actually good coverage there from Norwood. He was in a good spot. It's just a better catch there by Ja'Day Walker.
6'4" Ja'Day Walker from Cleveland, Ohio. Connor Wigman now with 160 yards with still 9 minutes to go until halftime. E.J. Smith patiently looking for those blocks on 2nd down.
So I said it earlier. I'm going to come back to it. And I mentioned the checkdowns. I mentioned Connor Wigman going through his reads. He's able to do that because he has time. This is a Missouri defense that last year was known for bringing heat.
They had Darius Robinson last year.
Yeah, they had better guys on the back end, but I think in this game you need to force the issue. You cannot allow Connor Wigman to sit in a clean pocket and just dice you up. I expect to see some more blitzes from Corey Batoon to force the issue and hopefully force Connor Wigman into a mistake.
Corey Batoon, the first-year defensive coordinator for Coach Drinkwitz. 3rd down and 7. Wigman trying to extend the play. Now he's going to run it, and he's going to have the 1st down doing that again. This is a very fiery Connor Wigman today. 1st down, Aggies.
Just initially a 3-man rush. They're going to add a linebacker right here. But again, just 4 guys rushing. Look at the time that Connor Wigman has to survey the field, buy in some time, pump fake, and then he's more athletic than he gets credit for. Does a good job using his legs there.
And Jordan, he has faced 6 3rd downs. He's converted 5 of them. And now the quick strike coming back for the ball is Terry Bussey. And this is 1st and goal, Texas A&M.
Boy, this Missouri defense, and Eli Drinkwitz, just no answer right now. You mentioned the 3rd downs. They came in as one of the top in the entire country, 7th in the country at 3rd down efficiency. But just A&M doing everything they want right now.
And Marvin Brooks and that Mizzou defense saying, what can we do to stop them? 1st and goal. Moss. Here goes Le'Veon Moss as he makes his way down to the 1-yard line.
Just really impressed with this offensive line, the physicality that they're playing with, because this is a well-respected defensive front for Missouri that right now is just getting pushed around.
They really are. Look at the ranks for this Missouri defense. And yet Texas A&M is slicing right through them. 2nd goal. And add to it. Le'Veon Moss, 1-yard touchdown run.
job finishing this one with some physicality. 215 pounds. Ball right on the goal line there. And Colin Klein, new offensive coordinator, should be really happy with how his offense as a whole is performing and starting up front with that offensive line.
He should be really happy with the kind of drive they just put together. A little bit of everything. It went 11 plays for 88 yards. Moss capped it with a 1-yard touchdown run. And in a game, as we said, the only game of the weekend that was ranked versus ranked, a game that had matchup after matchup that you could analyze and go either way all week long. All of a sudden, you look up at that scoreboard, and it's all Aggies.
False start. Offense, number 71. Retry.
And you can just see, we saw Luther Burden there, the body language on the Missouri side, much different than what we're seeing on this A&M side. They're inspired, obviously, by their play, but Missouri, Luther Burden dejected, seemingly not having an answer. This is where the leadership on that side, especially from Brady Cook, especially from Luther Burden, has got to rally the troops.
That's the kind of player who can make a difference when you're in this big of a hole, who you need to be instant offense.
And you still got 2.5 quarters to prove you're the number 9 team in the country.
Look at the total yardage as we go to break with a score of 24-zip. A&M 274 total yards to Mizzou's only 59 to this point.
Kevin Agani in studio, AT&T, keeping fans connected. We take a look at our multi-view, which is showcasing a bunch of great games across all of our networks. SMU, an underdog, now up 21-10 over on ESPN against Louisville. How about over on ESPNU? Army-Tulsa tied at 7. Army and Mizzou tied for the longest active win streaks in the nation at 8. One of those streaks in danger at College Station. Back to you, Tess.
Is it ever, Kevin? 24-point hole they're in. A team that came into this game really circling this game saying, hey, listen, we could be 5-0 for the second straight season. And now, I mean, what does the messaging have to be at this point if you're Eli Drinkwitz?
Oh, I think it just has to be positivity in a way. There's a lot of negative body energy on that side, body language on that side of the ball. When you look at it, they've had big plays. They had a big play that should have been where PI was wiped off the board, had a big play that was wiped off another time. It's not that they haven't had opportunities. They just got to capitalize on those.
Jared Zinkel kicks away, gives us a chance to look at our Sonic Drive-In recap.
And this is what I was talking about. Missouri has had opportunities. This is the PI that was wiped off, should have been left on. Gave the ball back, and this is the explosive play to Luther Burden that ends up being wiped off the board. Armand Menbu downfield gets the flag. Again, an explosive play that could change momentum, change the dynamic of the game. Completely wiped off the board. And this is a shell-shocked Missouri sideline, especially Luther Burden. They got to get him going again. I expect an early touch to try to get him back involved, to get that confidence flowing again. 4
touchdowns coming into this game. Leads the team 5th in the SEC. Cook quickly gets it to LB3 as he goes out to the 31-yard line. You see the first play of the day for Mizzou was 27 yards. 32 yards since then. They have not made a first down since that 27-yard pass on the first play of the game. 2nd down and 4. Brady Cook pressured, and Brady Cook is taken down by Johnson.
Boy, nothing special here. Just a 4-man pass rush. Rodas Johnson working on the left guard, Caden Green, right here. That's one of the matchups that Jay Baton mentioned he likes. One of their good pass rushers on number 70, the left guard of Caden Green, and paid off there.
Third and 10. Cook backed up again. Bobbled the ball for a second, now directing traffic, and now weaves ahead, makes one move, and look at Brady Cook. That was all him, that one juke move. As a flag is down, we will check on that. But great athleticism by Brady Cook.
Boy, Aggie fans might think that looks a little familiar.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 52 is not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And the hits keep coming. Left tackle Marcus Bryant there flagged. Not on the line of scrimmage right here. He's a little too deep in the backfield. Trying to get a head start working on Turner. But that little bobble had a little Johnny Manziel in him. If Missouri's going to come back in this game, they're going to need a lot of magic from number 12, Brady Cook.
These penalties have been brutal on Mizzou. Just brutal. 3rd and 15. Pressure on Cook. Gets rid of it. And a flag comes in as he was looking to connect with Mookie Cooper. Will Lee the third with coverage, a.k.a. the blanket.
Cook took a massive hit on that one as he released it as well. Let's see what the call is.
Pass interference. Defense, number 26. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, you mentioned it. That's Will Lee, the Kansas State transfer. They call him the blanket all over Mookie Cooper here. Just getting that right hand up on the shoulder pads. He was in perfect phase, turned his head back to the ball, and there's the hit on Brady Cook by Dalton Brooks there. But again, that right hand from Will Lee got up on the shoulder pads of Cook. And finally, a call goes in the favor of Missouri.
Yeah, that time the blanket was made of Velcro. Marcus Carroll. And you know, there was some news about the blanket in the last 24 hours. This went crazy on social media here last night as this was posted saying Will Lee left this in the room of Theo Weiss, left him a blanket in his hotel room, and then Weiss came out with it pregame as Carroll takes it ahead on 2nd 1. Now, we've heard from some saying that really didn't happen. Will Lee didn't actually leave it. The bottom line is that's what went down.
The message was
sent somehow by somebody, but supposedly the note was from the blanket Will Lee.
And look at Theo Weiss, just the ultimate troll. Again, whoever sent it, the message was sent to Missouri, but so far today, A&M has gotten the better of those matchups on the outside.
You imagine you show up on the road to your hotel room and the opposing cornerback,
I love it,
has a message and a blanket waiting for you in your room. First down pass to the outside. This is Luther Burden, the third. And you see what he can do in quick space and one cut.
Yeah, and I love Kirby Moore. I think he's one of the best in the entire country at designing layups. And watch the motion and how this allows Luther Burden to first identify that Jaden Hill is in one-on-one coverage. Look at him following him. So that tells Brady Cook, I got one-on-one on Luther Burden. They get him back in space with free access, and good things happen when you get him the ball in space.
First time in A&M territory since 12:55 to go in the first quarter. 13-yard reception by LB3. Pressure again and sack for the third time. Torian York takes him down.
Boy, and it's just what we call a hug rush by Torian York. When he sees the tight end right here, when he sees the tight end stay in the block, he's just going to add to the rush here. Call that a hug rush or a green dog. He's got the tight end man-to-man there, but if he blocks, he's going to add to the rush, and not enough time to hit the double move downfield for Brady Cook.
You know, once he knows that the pass coverage responsibility is over, quick to the quarterback, and he was. And because of it, a 2nd and 16. Cook, play action with time to the outside. As you saw, the a.k.a. the blanket in coverage that time.
Back in the day, the blanket, it was called the Snuggie. Yes. And it covered everything. Yeah. That's Will Lee right now. He's all over it.
You had the giant onesie with the single zipper, didn't you, Drew?
Oh, yeah.
Third and 16. 102,000-seat Kyle Field. A wall of noise on third down as always. Cook with a man in his face. That was almost picked off. BJ Mays breaking on that ball.
Boy, this play really made by Nick Scorton. He's not going to actually make the play, but watch how wide he gets on the outside here, opening up that huge window for the blitzer and almost causing the errant throw interception. Great job just having eyes on the quarterback there.
Mizzou has had 5 third downs. They have not converted a single one. 0 for 5 on third downs. Back rotation punt. Looking for the pin is Luke Bauer. And it doesn't check up. The Yell leaders were hosting Midnight Yell last night to fire up this crowd. A&M is delivering for them. 24-0. Now this season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating with universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. We thank All-State for that. The statue representing the 12th man. There is the 12th man standing throughout the games. The students and the fans symbolizing the willingness to step up and always assist the Aggies. They need little assistance today. They have looked tremendous in Connor Wigman's return as Moss takes it ahead.
And I think there was a big part of this Aggie fan base, and rightfully so, that maybe wondered as we approach the 2-minute timeout here if going back to Wigman when he was healthy was the right choice, or riding with Marcel Reed. I think we got that answer today so far.
And we have reached that 2-minute timeout. Aggies defense in control. Scorton and company. The great scene just moments ago. Kevin Smith, who was a first-team All-American back in 1991 for the Aggies, honored for what will be his induction into the College Football Hall of Fame. I was recently listening to Kevin Smith interviewed on Tex Ags. He said, you know, I was a 130-pound high school kid, and you end up being a Hall of Famer someday. You could relate to that, actually. You were.
I was about that as a senior in high school.
That's right.
Good thing I played a different position.
Off of the 2-minute timeout, and as Moss tries to find anything on the inside, he's met by Zion Young.
And not a ton of urgency here for A&M. Remember, they're going to get the second half kickoff after deferring and kicking to Missouri first.
And the timeout is going to be used.
We're just going to see how long we can make this first half.
Well, this gives us the opportunity to check in with Kevin and Booger in the studio. What do you got, Kev?
Tess, State Farm halftime report minutes away. Booger and Kevin here. Another top 10 team is struggling, and this team is at home. Highlights coming your way. A kick worth $700,000. I know that's music to your ears, Tess. Right now, listen. Mizzou coming into the game, they were an underdog. Like 24-0? What's wrong?
Missouri can't run the football, and they're a one-dimensional football team. And right now, A&M is teeing off them. Just a lot of pressure on Brady Cook. They got to figure out how to get a balanced attack, because this one-sided passing attack, A&M is killing them right now.
You've been very patient. Trust me, we'll get to halftime in a matter of minutes. And highlights coming your way. Back to you, Tess.
Hey, Kev, Boog looks like he's one of the A&M boosters in that sport coat today. He's rocking them. You have a lot of guys in a suite next to me wearing that same sport coat, Boog. Back shoulder, getting it complete to Noah Thomas. That was on third down, but Noah Thomas so skilled.
Boy, big 6'6" Noah Thomas working on Nicholas Deloche on the outside. Again, just the ball placement, the accuracy. Not only was it back shoulder, but on the back hip. So a DB with his hands up has no chance even getting an accidental hand on that one.
21 yards to Noah Thomas. 3 timeouts remain for A&M. First down, Aggies. Wigman has had a great first half. Gets it complete, but nothing upfield to Cyrus Allen. Good coverage from Dre Norwood, playing against his old team and his old defensive coordinator, and Mike Elko, when he was here at A&M.
Yeah, big week for him. I know he wanted to show up. Felt like he got shown the door a little bit at A&M, but met with open arms at Missouri, but so far one-sided in favor of the Aggies.
Second down and 9. Nothing at all for Amari Daniels, who has 2 one-yard touchdown runs today. Johnson with the tackle.
Kind of surprised Missouri didn't use a timeout there.
Right, just to manage things with a 3rd down and 10 coming up.
I mean, you're only going to have a handful, maybe a play or 2 at most, but at 24-0, you take every play you can get.
You're going to need every second. If you do get yourself in position to rally back, you're going to want every second and every opportunity. This is a massive hole. They're down and 10 as those final seconds of this first half continue to tick away. Newsom with the tackle there. And now a timeout will be used by Mizzou.
Either way, you were going to get about 15 seconds left.
Hey, we already brought it up. You win this game and then you think what's ahead for Texas A&M. We'll give you the Frogger schedule version because they avoid some of the SEC big hitters and they're not getting smushed there. Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, they're not there. So the games they have left, listen, as management, I know Texas is at the end of the season. We can't wait for that. But for an SEC schedule, somewhat manageable.
No doubt. And with how they're playing right now, a lot of the playoff, too, as we get down to it, schedule's important. Optics are important as well. Missouri's a top 10 team right now that A&M is handling. All these things get taken into account in those rooms as a discussion to who to add, where to rank teams. Aggies making a statement.
And this punt is going to, you can't even dream it up. I mean, are you kidding me? By Tyler White, the punter, as if he's got a joystick controller in his hand and just went hard left. Watch this on the progressive pylon cam. If you want to know, is everything going Texas A&M's way, watch the bounce of this ball.
And the second bounce, watch this one, starts going and then whoops, swerve. Unbelievable.
As if there was a magnetic force field on that goal line, and that is the punt by Tyler White, his first punt today. So even when they punt away to close out the half, it's golden.
And now Missouri and Eli Drinkwitz may be wishing they wouldn't have used that timeout. They got to run one play from the shadow of their own goalpost here.
And Cook is just going to launch it to stay out of trouble and hit double zeros.
Smart move. Don't want to risk handing it off there, getting to safety. But man, all Aggies in this first half.
You can hardly play a better half of football than that. 24-0. Amari Daniels with a couple of touchdown runs. Le'Veon Moss with a touchdown run. Stormy is with Coach.
Coach, if there were any concerns about how Connor Wegman might perform coming in his first action back, those were all put away. What impressed you most about how he led this offense?
Yeah, I mean, I know he's a competitor. I knew he was going to come out and play here well. We got a ton of confidence in him, and this is what we thought we'd get from him today.
What's allowed your defense to frustrate Brady Cook and Missouri's offense how they have?
Yeah, I think we're doing a good job up front, getting pressure. I think we got to tighten some things up in the back end. You know, they're going to throw the ball a ton in the second half. We got to be ready for it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Wigman returns, and he's 15 of 19 for 193 yards. 24-0 Aggies. State Farm halftime report is still to come after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. The SEC on ABC is presented by Tums Gummy Bites. And this is the spectacular scene we saw pregame, the flyover here in College Station. Look at this, the view from one of the 4 UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters Air Mission Commander Chief Warrant Officer Christopher Frank was leading this group of 4 Blackhawks. He graduated from A&M in 2007, and we thank Army Specialist Heather Brent for shooting that amazing aerial coverage that we saw pregame as A&M receives the second half kickoff. And Jordan, this Missouri defense, this is a defense that was loaded with talent. They came into this game ranked number 3 in how many yards per game they were giving up. Only 219 coming in. A&M had 305 in the first half.
Yeah, I think like everybody else, this Missouri defense was prepping for the true freshman dual threat quarterback in Marcel Reed, and they got the pocket passer Connor Wigman, and it brought a ton of balance to this offense and really unlocked Texas A&M on that side of the ball. So Missouri's got to figure some things out. Like I said in the first half, I expect them to dial up the pressure on Connor Wigman a little bit this half.
There's Le'Veon Moss, and A&M just keeps rolling. Look at big Le'Veon Moss. He's going to house it to open up the second half. The Aggies can do no wrong today. Worst case scenario for Mizzou has arrived. Sums it up, doesn't it?
Just an unbelievable way to start for A&M. I want you to watch Ostrom, the tight end, come around with the ceiling block, and Joseph Charleston, you see him on the ground right there. He's the safety rolling into the box that should make that play, but he ends up tripping on his own player, unable to fill the gap, and Le'Veon Moss just takes it right up the gut. And we were just talking about this Missouri defense and what they needed to do and how they needed to respond. Watch Charleston right here. He's going to work over the top, but he's going to get tripped up right here. See him hit the ground. He's the one that should be filling backside to make that tackle. Still probably would have been a 7-8 yard gain, but catches the foot of one of his own players, and then nobody else was there to bring down Moss.
We had just detailed it. It's not just that it's a top 10 Mizzou team with a glossy, undefeated record. It's a Mizzou team with that defense that had been shutting down teams for a month straight. And now you sit here and you say any messaging you gave at halftime, it's out the window.
Out the window. You got to throw everything at the wall, and you got to lean on Brady Cook, your quarterback, who's 15-2 since the start of last season, to try to bring you back.
And great kickoff coverage as well. Stormy.
Yeah, guys, the frustration on this Missouri sideline continuing to boil. And when I talked to Eli Drinkwitz at halftime, what did he say to me? We need to respond. He said we can either sit out here and continue to get our butts kicked, or we can show some fight. That is the absolute wrong way to get things started if that's the reality. Now, as this Missouri offense comes back out onto the field, he said those third downs are critical. They were 0 for 5 on third down, but he said a big part of that was the fact that their first and second down were putting them in third and long instead of third and manageable. Brady Cook needs to get us in better situations.
Cook, as he gets it to Nate Noel, who tried to keep his balance on the outside.
And this is who they are, and this is who they need to continue to be. The pre-snap movement from offensive coordinator Kirby Moore. They haven't done as much in this first half. They haven't moved Luther around as much, haven't moved Nate Noel, as we saw there, around as much. They need to get back to their identity, creating matchups so they can start to dig their way out of this deep hole they found themselves in.
Noel takes it ahead for about 2.5 yards on 2nd and 3. It'll be 3rd and short from there. Kirby Moore, the young offensive coordinator, he was at Fresno State, overlap with Jeff Tedford, came into DeBoer. Now his second year as the play caller at Missouri, and a tackle for loss, and it's Nick Scorton again.
This This is tough because this is just so hard. Watch the read that Brady Cook has to make. Nick Scorton looks like he's attacking this running back, and at the last second, he's going to redirect to Cook. I probably would have pulled this too, looking like he's going down the line, but the athleticism from Scorton at 6'4", 285 to putting his foot in the ground, redirect and bring down Cook in one movement, that's impressive.
And that's the 5th tackle for Ross. He is a freak. I mean, listen, we visited with the kid. It's not just the athleticism. It's not just the body type. He's a dynamic young man. You turned to me yesterday, you said humble with an edge. His humility just overtakes it, yet he's an alpha leader in the room.
Yeah, Jay Bateman mentioned he's an alpha. He brought some leadership and edge to this defensive front, this room that was full of a ton of talent, but needed some attitude. And he just sat there with a calmness and an aggressiveness that just was spectacular. And you see the athleticism. You saw the production in the Big Ten. Stormy mentioned earlier he wanted to come to the SEC to prove he could do it at this level and the next. He's checking those boxes so far this season and so far this game.
His dad, Nicky, told you the backstory about, the troubles that he had when Nick Scorton was a young man, the role that his Uncle Hag played in his life. And now he says, Dad is my best friend. And they have a lot to celebrate. Boy, oh boy, they're going to have a lot to celebrate in the coming years when he's cashing those NFL checks as well. Wigman, a lot of time to choose an option. He goes to Trey Watson, his big tight end. And a flag is down.
Trey Watson, flag on the play. Holding. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. Sorry, 10-yard penalty. First down.
Reed Adams is the starting right guard.
Yeah, I don't know if I love that one. Defender goes to the ground. He kind of pancakes on top of him, but hey, you know what? Enough calls have gone in the favor of A&M. Missouri's like, hey, finally, one that's kind of borderline goes in our favor.
Connor Wigman was a game-time decision. They monitored him all week. They wanted to see how that shoulder looked and felt before the game. And this is exactly how it looks and feels with a strike downfield to Terry Bussey, the true freshman.
Again, I urged this Missouri defense to dial up some pressure, just another 4-man rush, and this is what's happening. You give Connor Wigman a clean pocket. Look at the time he has to operate. This is a double move. He can step right up into the pocket and deliver a strike on the back shoulder, the back hip there of Bussey. You got to take time away from him. He is absolutely killing this Missouri defense. When you give him the clean pocket, give him the opportunity. Unless you change something, you're not going to get a different result.
Sat out the last 3 games dealing with that injured shoulder. Amari Daniels. He can't find much there. Remember, Le'Veon Moss, first play of this second half, a 75-yard touchdown run. A&M has had 6 plays over 20 yards today. There are 15-plus yard plays, a 9-2 edge. Smith on second down as he goes ahead for about 4.5 yards. It was fun a few weeks ago. We were down there in Gainesville with this crew, and to see E.J. Smith out on the field as his dad Emmitt Smith was Mr. Two-Bits that day.
Yeah.
I think Emmitt Smith came over to SEC Nation with you guys.
Yeah, he got up on there, and we were kind of like, hey, I mean, got to be a tough pick. Like, who you rooting for today? He said, no, not hard at all. His son in A&M.
E.J. may be the best pass catcher coming out of the backfield for the Aggies. Spent 4 years at Stanford before coming over to College Station.
And coverage across the board.
3rd down and 6. Wigman, he's going to get it to Moss for a first down and even more as Le'Veon Moss continues his strong day. And we remind you that the SEC on ABC continues with Auburn and Georgia coming up. And Then later tonight, it's Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One with number 4 Tennessee and Arkansas. Tennessee's been rolling, and they get good news because they get help on their offensive line back. They've had some injuries on the offensive line. Now they're healthy there as well. Auburn and Georgia, boy, the heartbreak for Auburn last week. The pick 6 by Oklahoma. They felt they had that game won, and it goes against them.
Auburn's a better team than their record, and maybe an emotional hangover for Georgia. Maybe a slow start makes that one interesting early.
First down run, Moss. As he's met after a gain of just 4 yards by Newsom with the tackle.
Yeah, this is where it just becomes an attitude. It just becomes who wants it more in the box. Because right now, Missouri knows A&M wants to hand the football off. And they're going to keep doing so if they're not able to bow up on that side of the ball and create some resistance. And right now, this offensive line for A&M continuing to get movement up front from this talented Missouri defensive front.
See that Moss average at 11.4. 75-yard touchdown will help that out as E.J. Smith comes in to replace him. Play clock was counting down.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
So they'll back him up.
How about the job that Mike Elko's done so far here, huh? If you'd have told them with a quarterback change, starting a true freshman, you'd be 4-1, and now in the third quarter, up a top 10 team, 31-0.
You're going to bring this thing in for a nice landing today and be 5-1 and 3-0 in the SEC as a first-year head coach at this program. Wigman, he is sacked this time. That was Zion Young who was able to get to him. And Deloach Jr. also applying some pressure.
Yeah, look at the low snap here. It's going to take Connor Wigman's eyes away from the defense for just a second. And so he doesn't see the blitz coming from the right side. He ends up seeing it, but not able to get his eyes back up to his hot route or to his quick outlet to get rid of that ball.
See, A&M 7 of 9 on third down. Missouri yet to convert one, but this is 3rd and 15. Play clock again counting down.
Delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Listen, I know 31 zip gives you the luxury. I know you want to run clock. You also want to remain playing clean football.
Yeah, and that's just one of those things. When you haven't played a ton of football, when you haven't played in a month or so, knocking off the rust of, hey, you're trying to help guys get lined up. We saw some alignment issues on the delay of game, and now you're just forgetting to look at the clock. Like, it's just knocking off some rust here, even though it hasn't looked like it so far for Connor Wigman.
Third and 20, and they'll just run E.J. Smith. And that clock will continue to count down as McClellan and Burks make the tackle on E.J. And that brings on Randy Bond from Plano, Texas. Made a 44-yarder earlier today. This will be from about 39 yards out. As that is up and through. 34-0.
You're watching the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
Taco Bell Live Más Student Section. All season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más Student Section of the Year. You can download the Taco Bell app to learn more. This is one of the great student sections in the country. You see the yell leaders. Instead of cheers down here, the students have to learn the yells. Here's Johnson on the return. 34-0. And Nick Scorton is a big reason why that goose egg sits next to Missouri's name.
Yeah, and he is backing up that ranking by Mel Kiper being the #1 defensive end projected for next year's NFL draft. He's been dynamic again, redirecting there on the zone read, bringing down Brady Cook. Dad loving it in the stands as well. Got the ice.
There's Dad, all smiles today. Scorton's happy. He's danced. Remember, he grew up nearby to here in College Station, but he didn't look like that when he was being recruited, and that's why he ended up at Purdue. Now he's one of the best in the country. Brady Cook trying to escape that defensive line and then throws it away. Weiss was nearby as he was being tracked by Cassius Howell.
And really, the difficult part about this, we've been talking a lot about Scorton, but you got Shamar Turner, Shamar Stewart, Cassius Howell we saw on that last play chasing Brady Cook down. This is an extremely talented defensive front, and if you decide to use a running back or a tight end to help chip on Scorton, you leave him one-on-one matchups elsewhere.
Nate Noel as he shakes free. Look at Nate Noel. Get a glimpse of what we saw when he played against Vandy when he had 199 yards.
Yeah, and this is what Missouri's got to do. Like, there's no 34-point play. This isn't going to happen in a blink. And if you start dropping back to pass every single down, those talented defensive ends we talked about will wreck this game. So getting Nate Noel going is going to go a long way.
He threw it to the opposite shoulder on the slant, but Luther Burden III skilled enough to still corral that ball. That was 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6. Brady Cook just 6 of 14 for 74 yards, and he's been sacked 3 times. Look at the differential in total yards. Cook threw it too high for LB3.
Cook didn't have the laces on that one. Just came out a little bit high, trying to get it out fast to Luther Burden.
Kirby Moore, the offensive coordinator. Eli Drinkwitz. Rare that he has seen these kind of days recently. They have been on such a tear. Last year, 11-2. Defeated Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. 3rd down and 6. Cook backed up, looking to extend the play. Launches it downfield and gets it complete. Theo Weiss Jr. touchdown, Mizzou. A 59-yard touchdown strike from Cook to Weiss.
Oh, this is just a great second reaction from Theo Weiss. The pocket collapses. Brady Cook gets outside the pocket. This is a double move. He's going to work to the inside. As soon as he sees his quarterback scrambling, reverses field, goes deep, and A&M defender completely lost in coverage there. Collapses. Brady Cook gets outside the pocket. This is a double move. He's going to work to the inside. As soon as he sees his quarterback scrambling, reverses field, goes deep, and A&M defender completely lost in coverage.
One of the great traditions, the Aggie War Hymn here in College Station. Stormy caught up with Coach moments ago.
Coach, your team certainly came to play today on both sides of the ball through 3 quarters. With that in mind, what's the approach here to this final frame?
Yeah, just finish. I don't like how we're relaxing right now. We got to put the foot back on the gas and finish this thing the right way.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Start of the 4th quarter, Brady Cook extending the play, now tucking and running and picking up the 1st down for Mizzou, trailing 34-7. A top 10 team in the country goes on the road, and this is what it looks like in total yards. Look at that differential.
And not a fluke, right? And this is a Missouri team that just happened to be ranked in the top. This is a Missouri team that physically dominated Ohio State to end the season in a bowl game. This is a Missouri team that is thought very highly of on both sides of the ball, but A&M brought it today.
With offensive weapons from Nate Noel to the wide receiver room that so many in the country would trade for tomorrow. And then a veteran quarterback with this guy, Cook. who cannot escape again, sacked yet again. It was Regis and Howell combining to get to him.
And Samford comes off the edge.
Yes.
Right here from behind, kind of tucked behind the line right here. I don't think Cook realized he was going to come. You see over the tight end, a lot of times that'll trick a quarterback. When you got a secondary guy aligned over the tight end, you expect him to guard him man-to-man, and then he comes late. Easy one for a quarterback to miss.
2nd and 13. Cook downfield, threw it to the outside of Weiss Jr., who was covered by Will Lee III.
Boy, great coverage again by the blanket. Will Lee. This one, Theo was looking a little inside. That ball ended up being over the top, a little higher, more trajectory than he thought. See him look back. He's expecting it to be on a line. Back shoulder ends up being a little more air than he thought. Couldn't quite adjust.
Hit some red in the helmet.
Yeah. Insult to injury today, huh?
3rd and 13. This crowd just never stops. The 12th man. Play clock counting down. And thus the flag.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And if you're wondering, hey, what's with all the blanket references? Well, last night on social media, this thing went crazy viral as Theo Weiss Jr. arrived at his hotel here, and this is what was waiting for him. A note supposedly from Will Lee. There have been conflicting reports with a blanket. Say, get used to it. So Weiss takes it out for pregame today. Now, he did have the one big moment. For the most part, though, it's been the Aggies defense getting the best of everybody on the zoo.
Yeah, and that last one, that matchup one-on-one. Again, Will Lee won it.
Third and 18. And they're going to stop again and I don't know that the message was delivered by Howell that the play was dead.
Prior to snap, false start. Offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's on Marcus Bryant working on Shamar Stewart, the talented defensive end, just trying to get a little bit of a head start. But I'm surprised that wasn't a flag on Howell for the late hit. And this crowd absolutely loving it.
Third and 23. Out of the backfield is Roberts. And that's the reality of 3rd and 23. Tackled by B.J. Mays.
Trying to maybe pick up 10 and go for it on 4th, right? I mean, no point in kicking the ball here. You were down a lot of points. Didn't want to do the math, you know. I know I'm a Vandy grad, but it's been a long morning.
It's a lot of for Mizzou today. The crowd has traveled here, try to support their team, but right from the start, it just was never there. Cook on 4th and 19, able to spin out of it and then launch it downfield, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Mookie Cooper, and that'll be a turnover on downs. So the failed effort on 4th down. The guy who delivered the blanket and the guy. We're here at the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive. Game of the week. Joe Tessitore, Jordan Rogers, Stormy Bonantoni. Glad you're with us. A&M in complete control, and this is Terry Bussey. And Terry Bussey can go. The true freshman from Timpson, Texas. College football rankings are brought to you by AT&T.
Boy, Texas sitting and waiting with Oklahoma next week. That one's going to be awesome. Tennessee, number 4, I think has a big test here. Going to Fayetteville, facing off against Arkansas. They haven't won there in a really long time. I think off the top of my head, like 2001 or something. It's been a really long time. And Georgia, coming off an emotional loss to Bama. Do they slip up? Do they have a slow start against Auburn, a very capable team as well? A lot of good football for the rest of your Saturday. Buckle up.
33 yards to Bussey, and now he'll continue to get work. Oh, he took a big hit. Listen, he only goes about maybe $190, plays everywhere, but he took a big hit from Marvin Burks. Listen to this, Jordan. So you want to play SEC football, do you?
You know what? He probably loves that, though. So he was a 5-star. He was the nation's #1 athlete recruit. Started on the defensive side of the ball for A&M. And finally, Elko's kind of like, man, I love you, but I think we need you more on the offensive side of the ball. So moved over there, and he's a guy they can use all over the place. In the backfield, motion him out, split out wide. A real weapon as a true freshman.
Played quarterback and cornerback in high school.
There's a combo.
Moss bounces it. Le'Veon Moss, and he takes it right in. Moss has had a monstrous day. 138 yards and 3 touchdowns now. Take a look to see if he stays in bounds.
The line to see if Moss's right foot, that's in, left foot, that's in. I think we're all good down the line.
Progressive Pylon Cam offers this view of Le'Veon Moss's 3rd score of the day.
I mean, he's a big boy, 215. His ability to turn the corner there, break tackles. Had a career high last week, 117 yards against Arkansas. He's been special again tonight with, how many does he have?
12 carries, 138 yards, 3 touchdowns, and had the 75-yard run.
New career high for Moss.
They just keep rolling. And the kisses keep coming. Where he's coming up, Jordan.
Yeah, and Carson Beck really hit his groove in that second half against Alabama. But even more so, I think Mike Bobo, the offensive coordinator, really started to understand the new weapons. No Brock Bowers, no Ladd McConkey. How do I need to use these guys? They were as explosive a team I've ever seen against Bama. I expect them to pick right up where they left off last week.
Here's Johnson on the return. And it's a good one. Marquise Johnson. Past midfield, tried to stay in bounds. But a late spark here for Mizzou. Let's go to the studio to Kevin.
It's time now for our All-State check-in at Louisville. Here come the Cardinals and that offense. They erase a double-digit deficit versus SMU. Tyler Shuck rolling, and then he finds Ja'Cory Brooks, and there goes Brooks. 86 yards to the house. This game tied at 27 right now on ESPN. Start of the 4th quarter. Back to you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, SMU got off to such a good start. It was 21-10, and now all of a sudden Louisville storms all the way back with Shuck hitting Brooks for an 86-yarder tied at 27-27. Nate Noel can't find much. It's been the other running back, Le'Veon Moss, who you saw moments ago, who has been finding everything with 3 touchdowns today. There he is. You know, Mizzou in the last 10 games, there's been no rusher over 100 yards against their defense. And then Moss today, Jordan, 138 yards.
Wow. That's kind of what Missouri's known for, right? The defensive front. NFL talent usually year after year on that side of the ball. That's how it was last year. This year, maybe just not quite the same up front.
2nd and 8. It's Brady Cook, and he is taken down by DJ Hicks, the 300-pound sophomore from Katy, Texas.
Boy, isn't it amazing how quick the pocket collapses? I mean, Brady trying to look outside to Theo Reese there, but just the pocket, not even that there's free rushers, it just condenses on top of Brady Cook. He's done a good job a couple times escaping with his legs, but it has been a tough time for Brady Cook in the pocket all day.
Against Arkansas and now today against Mizzou, 15 TFLs in the last 2 games. 6 sacks today. 3rd and 11. Cook. Downfield, lost it there, and that is incomplete. Mookie Cooper was waiting for it. Had he corralled it, it would have been a touchdown, as he had a step on Will Lee for a moment. Connor Wigman's day is done as the quarterback for A&M, and Marcel Reed, who led this team to a 3-0 record while Connor Wigman was away dealing with his injured shoulder, is in at quarterback to bring this one home.
Yeah, we've talked about the dynamic true freshman. Talent is off the charts. And really over the last 3 or 4 games, really started to see him develop as a passer. He's got a bright future.
E.J. Smith on the carry, and Smith goes ahead for a first down. So the day for Connor Wigman, we didn't know if Connor Wigman was going to play, and then he looked good in warm-ups. He got the nod, and he looked great out on the field. Only 4 incompletions on the entire day.
Yeah, accuracy was the main takeaway, right? Distributing the football, 10 different guys caught a pass, but the accuracy, 18 to 22 on the day. That was kind of the up and downs we saw with Marcel Reed, just complete 54% of his passes, and that was kind of the hit or miss style of offense we were seeing from A&M. Everything clicking today because of the efficiency of Connor Wigman.
He's had a bit of a stop-and-start career with injuries right from the start. When he played against Ole Miss in 2022, he was sensational with 4 touchdowns and 300-yard game. And then this year, week 1, really one of the only games you ever looked at with Connor Wigman and said, okay, it just wasn't there, that week 1 against Notre Dame. He took ownership of it. He said, point blank period, I have to be better. Boy, was he better today now that he's healthy.
And I mentioned it too, that game the offensive line wasn't great. The receivers made mistakes on routes and landmarks as well. That was just a different offense as a whole than we're seeing right now. Not just with Wigman, but everything around Wigman. And credit to Colin Klein for his ability, first year here at Texas A&M, to build this offense around now 2 different quarterbacks. I think that's one of the reasons Elko brought him here, his ability to adapt his offense, but now hitting on all cylinders.
E.J. Smith getting extended time. He was tackled from behind by Chuck Hicks. Well, we've mentioned the schedule. If you get through this game, not that only did you get through this game, they look tremendous this game. Here's what lies ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I think these 2 will also be a really big test for the Aggies, right? LSU's playing really good football. Garrett Nussmeier is one of the best in the country. I believe the weapons they have. And then out South Carolina is always tricky. But how about this? No matter what your record is, you got a chance to ruin the dreams of Texas at the end of the season with that rivalry getting renewed.
You know, I thought Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, did a great job when there were so many complaints about, traditional rivalries with conference expansion blowing up and this and that, of reminding people, as Marcel Reed is taken down and tackled for a loss, of just reminding people that one of the greatest rivalries the sport has ever had is back.
Didn't tickets for that and hotels and prices, went through the roof. It was, that game is going to be, we knew the Alabama-Georgia game was huge. We know the Iron Bowl every year is massive. That game is going to be otherworldly. Here in College Station, to have the Longhorns, all the bitter back and forth over the years when they didn't get a chance to play each other, the recruiting, arms race. Yeah, but you're not in the SEC. You're in the Big 12. It's all going to come to a beautiful head to cap off this crazy season that we're only halfway through.
They punt away with just over 6 minutes to play. Joe Tessitore alongside Jordan Rogers, who's in for the birthday celebrating, but also working elsewhere for ABC.
He's got a little picture from Jesse, little selfie.
You see that? He's thinking about you.
He is, yeah.
The Bachelor guys tend to stay together as one big.
Probably tuned in. He's like, that's a blowout. I'm going to.
The other side of this equation is, how does Mizzou move forward? Everybody loves to overreact when you see scores like this. This is still a very talented team that's on the field with Mizzou.
Yeah, you just got to flush it. And this is one of those games that feels a little bit like an anomaly, because this is not the Missouri team we expected, nor do I think it's an accurate representation of who Missouri is. You still have really strong leadership in Brady Cook with Eli Drinkwitz, so you have to rally around the fact that You're still 15-3 over like your last 18 games, and still in a 12-team playoff have everything in front of you, even if you're sitting at 4-1 after an embarrassing loss here in College Station.
And what's ahead is #1 Alabama eventually later this month, and then Oklahoma in early November, an Oklahoma team who we just saw a week ago at Auburn with that incredible fourth quarter rally.
And Alabama, one of their 2 losses last year was just a 9-point game, 30-21.
Yes.
So you win that game, it doesn't matter what happened here today.
Nate Noel cannot find anything against that front.
I think the big takeaway probably for Eli Drinkwitz in this offense and the defense, just the team as a whole, is I don't think they responded the way he would have wanted them to respond in adversity. I think leadership, I think body language, I think there's a lot to be desired, and that's a great learning experience, right? This was the game they circled on the schedule. It didn't go their way. That's okay. Football, it happens. How do you respond? And I think they'll respond better next time something like this comes around.
Fukk did a nice job right there of weaving his way through the defense to get the first down. Just over 5 minutes to play. One of those games where when you dig in on the film, you're going to sit there and just be shaking your head. Listen, you don't want to be one of the players in the film session the next couple of days here.
No, you don't. But also, the film is never as bad as you think
it's not.
too. And so you flip through a couple of those plays early, right? The offensive lineman being offsides on the big Luther Burden, or downfield on the big Luther Burden play, the no call in the pass interference, and you go, man, what if those things went the other way earlier? Is this game not 41-7? Maybe you still lose it, but maybe it's closer, right? Momentum is a fickle thing in college football. When it goes one way as quickly as it did today, you can end up seeing a result like this, even though the teams maybe aren't as far away as it appears.
But what you really don't want to be is the guy who's showing up on film in the second half when the score's gotten sideways and you're loafing it, or you're not giving full effort. That's even worse than an MA.
And I think that's what will irritate Eli Drinkwitz the most, is seeing some of the effort in the second half, but that's correctable. And the leadership, as well as Eli Drinkwitz, will address it.
Brady Cook able to get it to Luther Burden third. Let's go back to that play with Weiss a moments ago, what we saw on the sideline with that exchange.
Just a lot of frustration, a lot of back and forth. Javon Thomas there, number 14 for A&M. Hasn't been matched up a ton against Theo Weiss tonight. That's mostly been Will Lee. That's just frustration, though, right? I mean, this game was teed up for the receivers and the DBs to go at it with the blanket comment. And, I mean, everybody, John, and going back and forth.
They're looking at this last play to see if Burden had a catch inbounds.
It'll be where that right foot is. I don't think that left one was down, right? I think that left one maybe came up a little bit before. Here's a good look. Let's watch the left foot now. When the ball is in his hands. Oh, that left foot is down. So it should be a catch. Good job there by replay.
So it is in the books as a 15-yard reception.
Burden took a little hit there. He was kind of grabbing his ribs, a little shaken up. Man, he still is one of the best in the entire country. Didn't go his way today, and I think it's a great learning experience for him as well. But there's a lot of good football still ahead for this Missouri team.
Remember, still to come your way right here on ABC, we will have the Deep South's oldest rivalry with Auburn and Georgia. And then tonight it is Tennessee and Arkansas. Fukk throws it out of bounds. With 3.5 minutes to play. You know, I was sitting there on the Feinbaum show yesterday, and we were talking about some of the big stories and what's been revealed so far this year. And I find it fascinating, and by the way, I agree with it, that Tennessee has elevated itself from sort of an X factor to a fringe playoff contender. To know you watch them play football and you see the results and you understand how that team's made up. That is a title contender.
Yeah, because of the defense, because of the physicality that they play with, the pressure that they put on the quarterback, the way they man cover on the back end. We always know that offense every year is going to be able to give them a chance at a playoff run. But this defense, like you mentioned, to me solidifies the fact that they are a championship contender, no doubt.
It's an incredible defense.
And Tim Banks, defense coordinator, doesn't get credit for what he's done since 2021. They were like 12th, I think, in the SEC out of 14 teams. And he has built it all the way to being one of the best defenses in the entire country over the last 3 years.
That Tennessee defense you will see tonight in prime time. They've allowed only 2 plays of 30 yards or longer all season. They do not give up big plays, ever. 3rd down and 10. Cook, back shoulder, and gets it complete to Luther Burden III.
It's got to be a little frustrating for Mizzou fans, right, to see a play like that because it looks so easy. That is not easy, right? This is a slot fade by Burden attacking a defender that already has outside leverage and perfect ball placement from Brady Cook. You've seen flashes of it all day. There just hasn't been enough consistency from this offense, but the talent is still there.
Going to check down to Nate Noel. And Noel is going to be met and wrapped up as it was Damian Sanford on the tackle. Flag is down at the 18-yard line. Mike Elko, and of course the success at Duke.
Face mask, defense number 14. Penalty results in half the distance to goal. Automatic first down.
Now his first year here at A&M. We had a great conversation and visit with Mike yesterday. He talked about the stairs, the steps of a season.
Yeah, because I think it's easy after week 1, a disappointing Notre Dame loss, to go, oh man, where do we go from here? And he just illustrated it to his team. It's one step at a time, one game at a time to build us to a moment like this.
Kevin Agani in studio. A couple of really good games we're watching in the ACC over on ESPN. SMU just took the lead over Louisville. That game in the 4th quarter. Pitt looking to remain undefeated on ESPN2 up a score in Chapel Hill. Kirby Smart, you freeze. Georgia looking to get back on track after their first regular season loss in 4 years. That game coming up at UFES.
Thank you very much, Kevin, as Missouri looks for an oh-by-the-way touchdown late here, and they're not going to find it with Marcus Carroll getting met on 2nd down. Auburn and Georgia, that'll be Auburn's first road game of the season. A 2-3 Auburn team that legitimately played well enough where any of those losses could have gone their way. It's just these turnovers. I've never seen a team dealing with turnovers the way Auburn has to start this year.
They're so talented. They can move the ball on anybody, but the interceptions on offense have been their Achilles heel.
And he can't get in again. Marcus Carroll stopped on 3rd down. So it'll be 4th down for Mizzou. And you can see the A&M defense with Nick Scorton and the rest of them and this crowd, the great 12th man. It actually means a lot to them to take this thing home all the way to the end. They want to stop here on 4th down.
Starters all still in there. Student section still standing, waving the towels.
So here's 4th and 1. It's going to be stopped at the goal line, but it is going to be 1st and goal. And as you can see, Albert Regis saying that's how we do it.
Yeah, I don't think they realize that Missouri's got a 1st down. Scooby Williams helping end that one short of the goal line.
And Scooby Williams there as he is down in the end zone. It's the last thing you want to see when the score is 41-7. One of your better defensive players out there on the field in pain and having the medical staff.
Timeout for an injured defensive player. The next play, the clock will start on the snap.
Or maybe not.
Hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay, too. Thoughts and prayers.
I mean, we got to clip this and send it into the academy.
First and goal, and getting it to Luther Burden, and Luther Burden's going to lose yardage as he was chased down by Dalton Brooks. We mentioned it's going to be coming up that it's Auburn's first road game when they visit Georgia right here on ABC in moments. For Georgia, it's the other way around with the success at home. A school record 26-game winning streak. The best in major college football.
Yeah, and with that one loss to Alabama, Georgia, they have a really tough road ahead. So all these games matter for Georgia, especially when you start talking about a 12-team playoff. I know it's a good-looking loss to Alabama, but Peyton Thorne played 3 really, really good quarters last week against Oklahoma. And if he puts together that kind of game, this is an Auburn team that absolutely can be in the mix against Georgia for 4 quarters. But can he protect the football? That'll be the question.
They had an 11-point lead in the 4th quarter against Oklahoma.
They were
and then Thorne throws the pick 6. In an 11-point lead against Oklahoma. He was managing the game. He was playing well. Prior to that, obviously, it was interceptions that's been brutal for either Hank Brown, the starting quarterback for Auburn, or Peyton Thorne. And now Peyton Thorne will get this ultimate test of playing that Georgia defense. Final 25 seconds here. Cook being chased all the way back to the 20-yard line and then into the end zone and incomplete as that was denied by Trey Jones III.
Boy, Brady Cook has kind of just been running around for his life today. He's done a really good job of extending plays.
Mike Elko's got something here down at Texas A&M this year already, doesn't it?
Man, it tells you something just how they're finishing this. It doesn't matter if they score a touchdown or not, but it means something, as you mentioned, to this A&M defense.
Here's Cook on 3rd and goal. That is batted, and it falls incomplete. So we'll get one more snap. It'll be 4th and goal. Mike Elko's defense is looking to keep Mizzou to single digits. Nope, they're going to send out the field goal team all of a sudden. And you can hear the cascade of boos from the home crowd. As Blake Craig comes out. Had the go-ahead field goal in double overtime against Vandy. To some people, this is a very important field goal. If you do the math, it's over and out.
With 8 seconds, huh?
And Mike Elko pumping up this crowd saying, thank you for the support of the 12th man.
I feel like the rest of the country, and especially the SEC, is getting put on notice right now with this performance from Texas A&M. Nobody talking about them to start the season. Missouri's been a darling of the media in the national landscape. Ole Miss has been. Tennessee, obviously Georgia and Alabama. Nobody talking about Texas A&M. Now going to move to 5-1, first in the SEC, in a team that looks like a championship playoff contender.
31 points is the margin. This will go down as the largest margin of victory over a top 10 team in Texas A&M history, Jordan.
Well, there's some magic in what Mike Elko has been able to do as a head coach. We saw it at Duke. We know he was here as a defensive coordinator, but he's bringing something pretty special to College Station in the 12th man. This team playing with a different aggressiveness, a different confidence, especially with their starting quarterback, Connor Wigman, back. They've looked like a different team.
See Mike Elko trying to gather everybody. This thing got a little bit chippy. This is the kind of victory, the kind of weekend they love to celebrate here in College Station, feeling like their team is right there with the best in the SEC. You know, you get that early game, too. You can go get more tailgating.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can end up with a nice steak at Christopher's World Grill. Just like a nice bacon encrusted with the blue cheese top.
I think that's probably what I'll do. You're going to go. You're going to go see. I'm staying in College Station for another.
You can go see Karen over there and just take down their steak. Okay.
Order
41 to 10.
And then I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen after that.
And that is how they're going to close it out. On a day where we didn't know if Connor Wigman was going to go. He got the start, and he looked great, as did the running game. Le'Veon Moss had 138 yards and 3 touchdowns. And A&M every which way. Big day for Wigman. Congratulations given out by Eli Drinkwitz. No turnovers for Wigman. 18 of 22, 276 yards, had 33 yards rushing, managed things so well. Here's Stormy.
Connor Wigman, your first game back after being held out numerous weeks with a shoulder injury. He's put up 41 points. What was your mentality coming into this game?
I mean, just stick with the game plan. I mean, I trust what our coaches do. I mean, guys got tremendously better over those 3 weeks when I was out, and just ride with my guys, give it to my playmakers, let them go make plays.
What kind of tone-setting win can a game like this be for your team moving forward?
I mean, it's a big game. Top 10 team coming into our house, come set the tone early.